Hi, it's Heather with Prescriptive Living. This is where our savvy singles come every week to get tips to fail-proof their life and love. And we've been doing some new things that we're going to make our content easier to consume in a lot of different ways. Programs for men, programs for everybody that are going to hit different phases. So stick through to the end if you want to learn more about that, and we'll get you introduced to it. But tonight, I want to share something because what I'm about to talk about, it's mostly geared towards singles. However, it can be helpful for people in a relationship already because you can start to recognize where you're at in the 5 different phases of connection that can exist. Sometimes when people are getting familiar or getting introduced to my content, sometimes they feel like I'm talking about trying to obtain a state of perfection. And anyone who knows me knows that I think perfection is one of the most dangerous things for people to try to hold on to and grasp to, because it is a very destructive force inside of people's lives because it's not attainable. Excellence is attainable. Yes, advancing is attainable, but there are always different layers of not being in the perfect state. I don't believe perfection exists in any form of humanity ever. And so I really definitely am not talking about perfection. But what I am talking about is people who want to have good relationships and good outcomes, how those different stages of connection, what they can be. Okay, so the first I'm going to share is the most grandiose, and it is the most rare. Okay, this is definitely not a common thing. This is not the 12%. This is a tiny fraction inside the 12%. But these are the couple who is completely high on each other. They are both they have strong desire for each other, the connection. They like the same things. They value one another's perspective. They function healthy in their mind and their personality and their understanding and their awareness, their communication, their chemistry. They keep things fun and interesting. They're really, really, not always, but they're in a high on you stage together, and they maintain it. They work to maintain it. And these type of where it's fireworks, explosiveness, where it's just strong, like strong magnitude of connection and attraction and healthy functioning. Again, these are the rare things that come about. People can choose to wait and hold on to that standard because they don't want to feel like they've settled. But they may wait a very, very long time to get to that space because these type of alignments are more rare. Okay, so that is one. Now, yes, they can be developed, they can be established, they can be done, but these are not the most common. The next stage of healthy operating that is in the 12% as well, but is definitely a couple who is aligned well on all of the majors, has healthy functioning, they really like each other's personalities, they're enjoying their experiences, they know how to keep the sizzle and the fun and the connection in the relationship. They really, really, really are having a beautiful time in their unified space together. It's not as fireworky, so it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't get this person off my mind day and night, things like that. It's more like just they champion beautifully for one another at every cause, and they are literally a unified team. Okay, so that is the basically the enjoyment and satisfaction stage. The third stage is where it's really common, where there's just a couple and they are existing and they are roommates. So they they definitely are not like in a place where it's necessarily dangerous or harmful, but it's not really vibrant. It's not really great. They don't really get too excited about each other on a lot of levels. They've lost the connection, the intimacy. They're just roommates. Okay, about 75% to 80% of people in relationships tend to be in that space. The next phase is a environment that's just unhealthy. And when we say it's unhealthy, it means that, maybe there's very little communication, there's very little connection, there's very little consideration for one another. People may be very distracted and focusing on other things and not even trying to be remotely in tune with the person they're in relationship with. So there's a lot of isolation. This is where 8 out of 10 people in relationships tend to exist, and it's a very hard place to be in. The final stage of connection is the toxic state, and this is where it's kind of explosive. There could be really bad coping mechanisms, behaviors at play, could be very bad reactions that cause just unhealthy functioning in all sorts of different ways. Obviously, if it's physical abuse or people are in danger or things like that, those are extremes. Could be addictions that are way out of control. Could be the behaviors. Could be just really unhealthy behaviors or really unhealthy coping reactions. And those are not fun things. And it's odd because when we talk about these different phases, sometimes people can be in that initial dynamic, explosive, rare state where they're excited about each other, but because of the things underworking and as time goes on, it could end up in that complete toxic state because none of the things that people needed to be on guard with understanding people and their behaviors and their reactions and how to connect and build an awareness and what to manage and all of that can go haywire in an instant. So the reason we do what we do at Prescriptive Living and we build all of these different programs is to make it easy for people to proactively know if they have things inside their own life that are going to create those bad outcomes so that they can learn to understand and work to manage them into a healthier space. Also to recognize those danger zones in other people so that you don't end up creating big lifelong commitments with people or have babies or families or any of those things, broken hearts, broken dreams, broken finances, broken everything, but can build for successful connection due to really good awareness, really good understanding, and really good skills on the things that matter for success long term. All right, so that is why we do what we do, because it is very easy and manageable to create movements that create great outcomes by doing the small things that make enormous difference and knowing where people are going haywire in their decisions and where they're going on course. But I wanted to share it because I think sometimes people think, oh, if we're talking about creating an uncommon relationship, it's got to look like this. And they create maybe an ideal state in their head that really may not be attainable or common or even what we're talking about. We're really talking about building really deep, intimate connections and unification. And yes, if you can find that person and have that explosive connection and create that beautiful partnership, then by all means do that. That is a fun place to be. But it is very, very rare that people are in that space. You really do have to sometimes work or wait for a while to get there. There can be absolutely fantastically beautiful relationships that don't have that same level of intensity. It really does come down to the awareness on alignment and the understanding of one another and the healthy functioning and really just doing the intimacy and connection building consistently over the long term. All right, finally I want to share what we're doing with our programs. So we've been building more content for men and we're going to continue to do that. There is I feel like a tremendous opportunity for men, when they get into a place where life is throwing them a curveball or they're getting their heart broken, men are generally not going to their buddies and talking about their feelings or emotions. And it's sometimes harder for them to be able to navigate through this. And I feel like it's just a good time to start equipping men to navigate life and relationships in a way where they can feel confident and secure and feel like they've got their groove again. So we're going to be doing a lot more for men. We also are going to continue to have Fail Proof Your Life, Fail Proof Your Love, or together the Uncommon Love series. So those are consolidated courses that will do that. And then we're going to have all 6 courses that are in those series done in the micro courses as well. So the foundations for building a good life and love, that'll be one course. The 7 majors for compatibility alignment and the core needs of the sexes, that'll be course 2. 3rd will be skills in communication and conflict. 4th will be mastering self, walking in your power, walking in your vibrance. The 5th will be understanding, building understanding of self and others, including gender differences. And then the 6th will be all the toxic stuff inside your own life and inside of other people's lives that you want to be on guard for and you want to manage. Because if you don't, this can get you into in the bottom end of the spectrum of toxic, unhealthy, or isolated connection, rather than what we talk about on the uncommon love relationship, where there's just beautiful enjoyment and connection and experiences together at different levels of intensity. So we're going to make it easier. We're going to give you more options to consume. Those will be rolling out over the next, really throughout January. So you'll see more of that. So I just wanted to share it. And that is really where we're going to sign off today. So cheers to living and loving well. We'll see you either on Wednesday. We do at my personal Facebook page, we do Wednesday nights, Fail Proof Your Love on Whimsical Wednesday, or Fail Proof Your Life, Whimsical Wednesday chats. And then on the weekends, we do Fail Proof Your Love here on YouTube. So every week you're getting 2 videos, and we're going to be doing a lot more in 2020. Cheers to living and loving well. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.